Hello everyone, and welcome to another session by CounterSnipe. Um, in this session I'm going to talk about how to add a remote sensor, so how to set up the management console, CounterSnipe management console, and then add a remote sensor to that management console. Now whether you're adding one or many, the process remains the same. Okay, so once you added one, you can add all the others. Okay, so here I have pre-installed CounterSnipe software. On the left-hand side, I have a sensor, an APD, and on the right-hand side, I have a management console installed. And the difference is that when it comes to installing, you fire up the software, and installation is covered separately. It's not covered here. But when you're installing, you choose for management console, you choose TMC, and for the manage sensor, you choose APD. That's the only difference. Then it goes ahead and does the installation. Once you've installed it, you have to do the password on all of them, on both of them. So here, if you look at it on the sensor side, on the APD side, we do the password with the interface. When it comes to interfaces for APD, you will choose APD. Once you've chosen the APD, go back to the main menu, give it the IP address and so on, go back to the main menu, and then you can carry on and do the interface. No, do the certificate. So the things you got to do is password, interface, certificate. On the right hand side, if I go here on the TMC, I have to I will be doing I will be setting up when I go to interfaces, I will choose TMC. So I give it the IP address. Make sure that your management console and your sensor, they're both on the same network segment, so they're both visible to each other. The best thing to do is have a management LAN. Okay, put them on the management network or management VLAN and so on. Okay, again, once you configure TMC, go back to the main menu. Okay, one of the things that you might want to do is check here that there's a connection, there's a link between the two before you start now adding them to each other. So I can simply go to emergency, do a shell, and once I do a shell, I can do a simple ping to the 3168.0.99. 99 is my sensor here, okay? And my management console is 14, and I can show you. If I do ifconfig here, E80 up at the top, you'll see 192.168.0.14. Okay, so 14 is my management console, and the 99. And if I do APD setup, that takes me back to the same menu. Okay, so now I have a management console, whether it's physical or whether it's a virtual machine, it doesn't really make any difference. I have a management console installed. I've configured password, interface, and certificates. On the management on the sensor APD, I have configured password, interface, and certificates in it. Once you're done with that, you have these two machines running, and they can see the world. They can talk to each other. I want to put the sensor aside for now, and then I just want to work on the management console. Okay, so I'm not going to be doing much on the back end anymore. So I'm closing this window. So here I will come to the management group. And the way I access the management console is I go HTTPS, IP address survey, and then 84434. Okay, and then once you actually get to here, you will have to I start again. So if I do root here, and then once the password, and the password here is the password that I configured here on TMC, where it says password. That creates the root user and gives me a password. So using that password, I log in here. Okay, when you log in, you will see just the simple sort of setup like this. You will see the disk, and you will see the configuration, everything here. The first thing I want to do is I want to go to I want to deploy to this sensor anything, whatever I want to deploy. It doesn't matter what I deploy, but I have to deploy to this sensor so that it configures all the basic settings before I can do anything. I say sensor to the management console. So we are working on the management console. And the way you tell between the management console and the sensor is, you will see later on a sensor, you will see packet loss, threat monitoring, compliance summary, last 5 minutes, all of those things. Because there is no no sensor running on this system, this is just showing you the management console. Okay. So here I want to deploy something. The easy way is to go to sensor groups. I'm not going to play with all the other settings. They can be covered separately. But what I'm going to do is just go to DNS, and I'm going to deploy just the DNS server IP address. So I type in the IP address, click submit. That saves it. I had already edited that in, but you can add it in your DNS server details in there. Then I go to summary and hit deploy, and it will deploy all the configurations. Once it's finished deploying the configurations, what it will do is it'll come back here and it will show me configuration will go yellow, and then it'll come back green again. But please wait for the configuration to come back green before you are set up to add the remote sensor that we created here on a separate system altogether. Then you can add that sensor to it. So this is 99, as you may remember. Okay, so we're going to do this now, and what we're going to do is to add that, we're going to go to sensors. Let me get rid of this old one first. Okay, so we're going to go to sensors. We're going to create a new sensor, and a new sensor I will call it APD. Okay, and I do submit. I could actually go in and give it all the other details like the description and so on, but you can do that in your own time. Okay, so what I've done is I created a sensor. If I go to sensors now, I've got two: the management console, which is my TMC, and also I have the remote sensor, right, which we created. All we've got is a name right now. So next thing I want to do is I've only got 3 tabs up at the top. I want to go to interfaces, and then I want to type in the IP address of my APD that I built. 99. Remember, it was 99. So 192. As it goes, it's here. 192.168.0.99. Management network. Okay. 255.255.255.0. That's the segment I am. And you may have a different management gateways and IP addresses. So of course you're going to have to use your IP address of your APD, the sensor that you created. Once you've done that, I click submit. Once I click submit, I go back to summary, and then I will probe it. That's the only thing you can do. The first time you have to probe that. Remember, you want to make sure that there is a connection between the two machines. Okay. Now I can't remember if I did that, so I'm going to just make sure I do that here. So I'll go back here to emergency, to the manual console. This is the same machine, but the back end of it. Okay. Shell, and then I am going to do ping to 192.168.0.99. Okay, so that makes sure there is a connection. Okay, there is live. They are talking. Okay, so I stop that. I do APD setup to take me back to the menu again. I have the menu. I'm going to close this TMC window. Now all that remains for me to do now is to probe this. Okay, so I'm going to probe this, and I click submit. I click submit, and then I wait. Okay, I simply wait for it to do something, and hopefully, if the connection is fine between the two, which we checked, okay, this will come back with a complete sensor. You see that? Now I have the same machine. See, interface is 99.0.1. All I did was probe, but you can only do that first time. So if I go to summary now, I have a green light here. That means the sensor is found, it's connected, it's there. The version number is changed to 902. Okay, I have all of the tabs options up at the top are ready for me to set up and test. Okay, that is it. That's all I wanted to show you in this session. You can go on from this point onwards, and you can actually simply, deploy at the group level, and everything that you set at the group level would deploy to your sensors. So you see the steps very simply. You can repeat the whole video anyway, but very simply, you configure the sensor, you configure the management console, you deploy the management console, you add the new sensor, and then you deploy the new sensor, and you probe the new sensor, and you end up with an active device that now you can go ahead and manage remotely. Thank you for watching.